Good afternoon and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be making a page using photographs of my daughter, and this paper, which I have no idea where it came from. I've had it in my kit for such a long time. It doesn't have a branding strip, so I have no idea where it came from, but it has a message "Get well soon" all over it. So I'm just cutting this piece of white cardstock down, and I will be gutting the center. So I just really want to see a little bit of the writing on the outside as the frame, and I'm going to be gutting this paper because I want to use some of the other writing that says "Get well soon" as my title on this page. Yes, so I'm just cutting off the little bits here just to release that piece, and then I'm going to be sticking this down. So the way I stick it down is I get some washi tape and I turn it over and I stick one piece of washi tape down, and then I check to see that it's square and it's straight, and if it's not, I lift it up and I'm measuring from the bottom where the tape is. I'm measuring from the top and the tape was at the bottom, and now I'm sticking the rest of this down, and then I will come in with a bit of glue on the other side just for added security. Sometimes the washi tapes can lose their tackiness and then this page will pretty much fall apart. So I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to be putting in some of the wet glue that I tend to use. So with this, I was thinking I was going to use some distress inks, which is why you see those distress inks at the top, but I never actually use them. Now I'm just looking at this cut out piece and working out which of the titles I want to use. So it all says get well soon in different fonts, different colors, and also a different way. Some are written as 3 separate words, one on top of the other. Some are written as a line. They're written backwards, forwards, and all other ways on this paper. And I just want to use the straight large "Get well soon" that is written over 3 lines. So I'm going to cut a couple of these out, just because I want to sort of layer them, and I'm still thinking exactly what I want to do, and I'm not quite sure if I want to use any extra pieces of this paper. So I'm cutting these out in the middle so that I could, if I wanted, use this behind my photograph as well. I like the hearts, so I am going to cut out some of the hearts so that I can save those and add those to my page as well as an added embellishment. And this will keep the same colours, so we're keeping the colour scheme on the paper. So now I'm just going to cut round the heart here, which I want to put, as you see there, I only had half of the heart, so I wanted to put the rest of the heart in there. So it's going to go on there on a foam pad so that it's layered up a little bit, and then that will just make it a little bit of a bit more of interest on the page. One of these photographs is my daughter playing with the bed, the top photograph, and at some point a little sort of sticky note was put over it that said, "Can I get one of these at home?" So that's what you can see on the photograph there, which I do end up removing because I don't quite like it. So "Get well" and are shorter words than "soon." So I'm going to sort of layer these titles up so that one will cover the writing from the the added writing, the other added letterings from the "Get well soon." And now I just decided that it would look nicer if I trimmed these photographs a little bit, and also trimmed this one. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep that writing, that little post-it sort of note there on this picture or not. So I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do. Now I want to cut these so that they're the same size, so they layer up like that. And just thinking about where and how I'm going to place these words, quite like them like that. So I'm thinking that this may be the way the photograph ultimately is going to look. Now I'm just going to cut out a few more hearts in the different colours, which can be scattered around the page as added embellishments, and this will just give me, as I say, a little bit more interest on the page, and I quite like these. I think they're quite sweet, and it will stick with the colour theme of the page in general. So we have quite a bit of pink, a bit of purple, and a little bit of green in this page, and then you've got quite a bit of blue in the actual photographs themselves. So I was debating as to whether I was going to bring in some blue into this photograph, from the photograph into the page or not, and as it turns out I decided that I would just stick with the three colours that are actually in the paper, and more or less ignore the colours that are in the photograph. So I'm getting rid of the red there, because I think that sometimes when you put red on a page like this, it'll look like blood, so I don't really want it to look like that. So I've had a look at various colours, and this palette has colours that match better or more closely with the actual colours in the paper. So this green is very close in colour to the green that's in the papers. So I'm going to be layering this down. I thought if I use more green, it'll kind of tone out the blue in the photographs and kind of make them sit on the page a little bit better than if I was to pick out more of the reds, purpley sort of colour in this page. So I'm just using the package technique. Now I'm adding a little bit more water. So I've put the paint on to start with quite dry, so that it goes on quite dark, and then I wet it so that I'm making it a little bit lighter in colour, and I'm just adding a little bit more there with the paintbrush, and then I put the paper, the packaging back on top just to smooth it out a little bit. And here I'm layering up the pictures and thinking actually quite a lot of that is actually going to get covered. So I do go back in and put a little bit more of the green, because I have pretty much didn't check too much where the photograph was going, and I didn't bring it down far enough or across. So I've just gone in there with a little bit more of the green and popping those back just as I keep going along, just to make sure that it all sits quite nicely together and it flows. Now I like this purple, as I'm pointing out there, the purple in the Get Well. So off camera I went off and I mixed a couple of different paints so that I came up with the closest colour match as I could. I'm actually quite pleased with this colour. Again, I just used the paints that I have above me there, and mixed a little bit of the purples and the pinks together to get the right sort of hue, and this then just makes it pop a little bit more than it did before, and so I was quite pleased with that. Now I'm going to layer these writing up so that you can't see the added little letters next to that Get Well, and popping that one there. And now I'm just coming in and I'm going to cut a little bit around the heart so that I can actually cut off the rest of the writing that's on the bottom piece and tuck it in, tuck the heart over the top piece, the middle one there, so that they interlock with one another, and it covers any of those extra little parts of writing of the other words from the paper. And then I put it down, and I've not stuck it quite straight, so here I am fighting with the double-sided tape to try to move that and get that to sit a little bit better. So just a little mistake there when I put it down on the page. Going to put the title down over the photograph as well to cover something that I wanted to hide on the photograph that didn't fit in too well with the actual photograph. So now I think I've got the page pretty much how I would like it, and the hearts where I think they should go. So now I'm going to start sticking my photographs down and getting those in place, and then I will come in and stick the hearts down, and the page will be pretty much finished then. So this is a page that I've been wanting to do for such a long time, and for whatever reason I just didn't get around to it. As I say, I've had this paper in my collection and I knew that I wanted to use these photographs, but yes, just never got around to using it. My daughter does not want me to document what I'm writing, so I do come in at the end of the video and I do, in the bottom right hand corner, put in a lot of journaling um, about the story behind the photographs, but I have not recorded this because my daughter did not want me to, and so out of respect for her, I haven't done that. I also, from now on, will be trying to make sure that I cover the photographs, because I'm getting a little bit of grief for people not wanting me to use their images or tell too much of their story. You can see me here writing some notes here. I've written just a little description about what's going on in each one of these 3 photographs. And let's say that top one, because she was quite happy about the mechanical bed that goes up and down. So here's the page. The cap went in the top there, walking across the title, as you can see. And yes, I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it inspires you to get out there and get crafting this week. Okay, bye.